I'm here with Tom Leonard, the Director of Sevier County Solid Waste. This facility here takes care of the waste of the entire county. Tom, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Mike.
So you guys are online with this new facility here for about a year. Tell us a little bit of the history. We had a fire, then you had to do a rebuild. Bring us up to date on that if you would.
Yeah, in May of 2000, we had a fire that destroyed the older buildings that we had here. It didn't destroy the actual units that we processed the garbage in, but it did destroy the buildings. We spent 2 years building the thing back, and you know, we're back bigger and better than ever.
What are some of the biggest improvements that have been made from the old facility?
The biggest improvement is we just increased the size. We went from 88,000 square feet to 188,000 square feet. So we have a lot more processing floor.
You know, a lot of people, they'll come into this area where they have mandatory recycling where they live, but here we do about 70% of all the garbage is turned into compost. That's huge recycling.
Oh yeah, everything we take through this plant, we recycle about 70% of it, and it's all done on the back end after it's been thrown away at the residents and the restaurants and motels. So we kind of take care of it for them.
Well, for this facility to take care of the whole county, how many tons of garbage do you get a day here?
We do 275 tons a day, and that's about 250 tons of municipal solid waste and another 20 to 30 of sludge from the wastewater treatment plants.
So in a year's time, how much garbage goes through this plant?
We do almost 100,000 tons per year of garbage going through the plant.
And for a city, what size city would produce that much garbage, roughly?
You know, Knox County, just their county convenience centers do about 20,000 tons a year. So when you look at their overall county, city of Knoxville is probably about 100,000, just the city, not including the county. So.
Wow. So yeah, a lot of garbage.
So a lot of garbage. A lot of garbage.
Well, would you take us on a tour and show us how this whole place works and how it operates?
Sure.
Okay.
Be glad to.
Let's go. Tom, tell me about this building. There's looks like there's a bunch of garbage in here.
Yeah, now this is the tipping floor building. This is where all the trucks from the cities and county come and they dump the material. And then you'll see there are actually 5 pits in the floor. The one he's dumping into now is one of 5, and he'll actually load each of the digesters, which are located on the back side of the wall.
And then this garbage starts going through these digesters very slowly, and then what happens to it?
As it's going in there, we're mixing sludge and the garbage together, and then that stuff is just, the microorganisms in there are turning inside these large units, and they're just breaking it down and composting it just like they would, you know, out in nature, just speeding up the process.
What are some of the things that should not go in there?
The things we don't really want up here, we can take in our demolition landfill, are things like water hose and wire, carpet, you know, electronics, because they have, you know, heavy metals in them. Things like that, we don't want in the regular garbage. We just need it separated so we can put it someplace else.
So if they don't want to try to sneak it into the garbage, they can just bring it down here, no problem, and you've got a place they can dump it.
They can bring it down here. If they live in the city, they can set it out separately, and they'll come by and pick it up separately.
Awesome, awesome. Show us the rest of this place.
All right, we'll move on.
Tell me a little bit about this roof. It's an interesting looking roof. What's it made of?
Yeah, this is a plastic type structure. It's a woven material that, you know, is obviously resistant to corrosion. They use them a lot in indoor type facilities and horse rinks. Walter State actually has some that they use for horse rinks and shows and stuff. But we found it very advantageous for us because with the garbage and the sludge, you get a lot of humidity. And so you have a lot of steam coming out, because when this stuff's in the digesters, it's getting up to about 160 degrees. So you're going to drive off a lot of steam. So these buildings are a whole lot better for corrosion standpoint.
New technology, new design.
Oh yeah, yeah,
awesome.
Definitely.
Good deal. Thanks, Tom. Tom, the garbage that we saw on the tipping floor that was dumped in those holes, it's going into these digesters, is that correct?
Yeah, we've got all the garbage going in here. And these things are 14 foot in diameter by 185 feet long, and they're slightly sloped from this building down to the other building, so the material is actually running down that way. These things turn 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, at about 50 revolutions per hour.
So if a bag of garbage got dumped in this end, how long would it take to get to that end?
It actually takes 3 days. Each of these is sectioned off into 3 sections. And so what we'll do is the guys will come in about 4 in the morning and they'll unload what we call the bottom section, or that third. The middle will actually move to the bottom, and then the top moves down to the middle, and then that way the guy on the floor has an empty hole to load. He has an empty third of the unit to load.
So what will we see down at this end?
You'll see the doors and where they open the doors and allow the material to come out onto the conveyor belt.
Let's go take a look.
All right. It's actually not that bad because they've done quit for the day, but you'll be able to see the doors and things turning, and the conveyor's there in the floor.
So that comes out of there, the compost, and then drops down into the conveyor belt?
Yeah. It drops down on the conveyor belt and then goes through what we call a primary trommel screen. Primary trommel screen screens it down to about 1 inch. So
you don't have the big pieces of glass like you did in the past?
No, we do not. Once it goes through the primary trommel screen, it's about a 1 inch, so the bigger pieces of glass fall out with the compost. We windrow it for about 40 days, and then it goes through the final screen, and we screen down to a 1/4 inch minus. So we don't have any bigger pieces of plastic and glass.
Tom, this looks like really a very simple process, the way this whole thing operates.
Well, we've tried our best to make the operation as simple as possible. The less moving parts, the less to break down, and they bring garbage in here every day. So, we need to be able to try to operate every day.
So if people get anything really out of this that could be helpful to you guys, is don't put the carpet, don't put the hose, don't put things that are going to turn into like a big hairball inside of this.
Not in your regular trash.
Okay.
Save that for them to come up and pick out with the furniture and that type of material that they'll come and pick up at the street anyway, or take it to the convenience center. Keep it separate, because that's going to save us a lot of headache on this end.
Yeah. How many plants like this are in existence in the United States?
In the U.S., there are 5 facilities like this.
So we're one of 5?
Yeah, one of
Wow.
5. There's a big one in Canada, and there's 3 in Australia, and I think 2 in China. So, you really got about 11 plants in the world.
Okay, Tom, this looks like the end of the road. Tell us about this part of the process.
As the material comes out onto the conveyor, it goes through what we call primary trommel. That's passing through a 1 inch hole, so the compost falls out the bottom. The residuals go out into the cans down here and off to the Class 3 landfill. We windrow the material in about 30 windrows. It stays in here for 40 days. We turn that material to keep that process going, because we want those bugs to keep working in the compost. Yeah. At the end of 40 days, it goes through the final screen. It goes up into a shaker screen, and then that gets it out and screens it down to a 1/4 inch minus to get off the larger pieces of glass, knives, forks, spoons, and things that pass through that 1 inch hole.
So how many tons of compost do you think is produced a year?
In a year, we're going to produce about 32,000 tons this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And compost
tremendous
is
amount.
Yeah. Wow.
That's another thing. We increased our biofiltration system from 20,000 square feet of area to actually 60,000 square feet.
How does it work?
Well, what happens is it pulls the air out with these fans.
Oh, it's going down underground.
It's going down underground, and it's coming up through the mulch. And that's why you'll kind of smell like a woody smell.
Yeah.
That smell is the biofiltration working on the odor. It smells a lot better out here than it did inside.
Okay, compare this plant to the old plant, square footage size. How much bigger of a footprint is this?
This one's almost 100,000 square feet bigger than the other facility.
100,000 more?
More.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, bigger. And then the biofiltration system is an extra, 40,000 square feet bigger than the old system. Cannot.
So, if you had like a city that was doing like mandatory recycling, what percentage do you think they would recycle?
By numbers across the U.S., mandatory recycling is about 22%.
And here we're doing around 70 to above percent.
70%, and we're working on some things for next year to try to push that to 85%.
And virtually nobody wants a landfill in their backyard. Plus, if you haul it off, what are some of the ramifications from trucking this to some other regional site?
Well, in our county, you're looking at about 18 loads, tractor trailer loads a day of garbage going out Highway 66 to the interstate. So you've got all kinds of traffic and trucking issues and odor issues associated with the trucks and, you know, just logistics.
So because we are unique, a tourist area, we are bordered by the national park, you know, this county, it's a little bit different. But is this the best thing we could be doing right now? I know there's always probably something else, but in your opinion, are we doing probably the best we could do right now?
I feel that this is the best situation for us. We're not only doing the best we can with the garbage, but we're constantly looking for new ways to even take that 30% and try to recycle it as well.
And you know, we've talked a lot about the compost. For Sevier County residents, do they have to pay for it, or can they?
No, it's free. They can come get it anytime, 6:30 to 3, Monday through Saturday.
So if you were trying to put in a nice yard, or putting in a garden, or doing some landscaping, would this be beneficial to you?
It would be very beneficial. The key is to make sure that you work it into the ground, work it in with the soil. It needs to be mixed with the soil. But once it's mixed with the soil, you will see the results of this compost.
What's its greatest property?
I think the greatest property is the water holding capacity. This stuff is literally like a sponge. It will just soak up water. So any water that falls on the yard or the garden is going to be right there for the roots to uptake.
So if contractors needed something like that for doing slopes, dressing slopes, or putting in like a yard, they could contact you and figure out a way to get the compost?
Oh yeah, and come and get it, and we'll help them. We'll show them how to do erosion. Our whole landfill's done erosion control projects. We have some on the new project, our new landfill over here. We would love to work with you.
So Tom, is this the end result of this whole process?
This is it. This is the compost. It goes from those bagged garbage in your house, and we turn it into this, ready to go out and be used.
It's almost amazing, the process.
It is. It's a very good, very good end use for our garbage.
It is. That's great. Well, I'll tell you what, I might just get a bag of this to take home with me.
That sounds good. You can have all you want.
Thanks. Tom, give us a little education on landfills. What do we have here behind us? You know, a lot of times I'll be driving up 75 and you see these huge mountains, and you know, it's just all big landfill.
Yeah, 75, that is what's called a Class 1 landfill. That is where most of Knox County's waste goes. This is also a Class 1 landfill. Originally, we had to put some of the material from the plant in there. We no longer have to do that. We actually put that in what's called a Class 3 landfill. This one can take any kind of garbage, household garbage, residential waste, and it's where probably 99% of the United States garbage goes into a landfill like this. But what we're able to do now, because of the Class 3 landfill and because of the compost plant, is we only have to put our waste from the plant into the Class 3 landfill. That saves a tremendous amount of money. This landfill cost about $300,000 an acre to develop. The Class 3 landfill is about $500,000 for 12 to 15 acres.
Wow, what a huge difference.
Oh, it's $1 million a year savings for Sevier County residents.
So how much time has it taken to put that much construction
material
landfill in there?
Yeah. That material right there is about a month's worth.
That's a month's worth?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's about a month's worth. And then the thing is that we get, there's 100 ton a day of material coming out of the plant that has to go in there. And then there's another about 100 ton a day that comes in every day, from construction demolition sites and building projects.
That's incredible. Do you still have people that come from other areas to look at this facility?
All over the world.
They would like to do it. It just makes so much sense. To me, it's a no-brainer.
I probably average at least one tour a week.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because we have so much merchandise and outlet malls and things like that, we have a lot of cardboard. So we try to recycle as much cardboard as we can. Now, it would break down the compost in the compost plant, but just to be honest with you, it's more valuable and it saves us space to put additional garbage into the plant. Mm-hmm. So we bale up this cardboard and we ship it off to a mill where they actually grind it up and then make it into new cardboard.
Awesome, awesome. How about all this plastic?
Yeah, we've got aluminum and plastic where we're taking in at sites around the county and in Gatlinburg and the city of Sevierville and different places, and we bale it up and we sell it as well. Most of this aluminum will go over to Alcoa, and the plastics go to different places, but we sell all that material. So we try to recycle as much as we can. So those drop-off sites are there in Gatlinburg at the high school and the service center, and then the ones in Sevierville are at City Hall. I mean, those are very beneficial to our recycling program.
Good deal, good deal. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
We try to do it all.
This is great.
Hello, this is Dolly Parton reminding you to keep Sevier County beautiful. Help me celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park by keeping our mountains and our streams litter-free. So pitch in. Keep Sevier beautiful.
If you'd like to get your community or group involved, please call 774-6677. Check out our website at www.keepsevierbeautiful.com or call 774-6677.